Hey everybody, here today to talk to you guys about static stretching. How does it work? Why doesn't it work sometimes? Why does it feel uncomfortable when I do it? Why does it feel worse after I do it? What's going on here? So, how does a static stretch even work? A static stretch works basically by sustained pressure. So the muscle feels a sustained pressure. It says if this pressure keeps up, I might have a problem. It tricks the muscle into relaxing. Now, why doesn't it work sometimes? Well, for the most part, what's happening is every night when we sleep, we get a spider web of scar tissue through all of our muscles called fibrosing. And if we don't go through our range of motion, we don't tear it. And if we don't tear it, we get a new layer every night. And so some people don't go through the range of motion for days, months, and even years. And so when they go to do a static stretch, this really gets in the way. Basically what happens is they go to do the stretch and scar tissue starts to tear. And it's like a spider web. So as one fiber tears, the pressure goes to another, and then that one tears. And essentially, it takes about 90 seconds to tear all the scar tissue. Why is this important? There's no sustained pressure. So they're not doing a stretch while the scar tissue is tearing. Usually takes about 90 seconds to tear the scar tissue and 30 seconds to release a muscle. So it's important that we hold our stretches for 2 minutes so that we actually get a stretch and we don't just tear some scar tissue. This is important because if we just tear scar tissue, usually we don't feel any relief. We need release of the muscle to feel that relief, and without relief we don't have motivation to keep doing the stretch. So why would we do something that's ineffective? So we need to hold our stretches for 2 minutes first off. That's the most important thing. The second thing is, why is it when I'm doing my stretch, at first it feels like I can do this no problem, and halfway through that stretch it starts feeling irritable. I start feeling almost like I'm holding my breath and I really want to stop holding this stretch. What's going on here? Well, it's called the spotlight effect. The spotlight effect is the brain's mechanism of defense. So anything that gives us pain, stress, or anxiety, our brain will amplify that irritation so we stop doing that. And of course, stretching is irritable, and so halfway through the stretch, you're going to start feeling that irritation. And how do we beat it? We can override it by pleasure. So we can only feel pain or pleasure at once. So what I recommend to my clients is have a hot shower, hot bath, sauna, hot tub, even meditate, something to calm your nervous system and override that irritable signal. So the spotlight effect goes away. And so the stretch becomes way more effective and way less irritating. So that's how we get around this irritation of stretching. What else happens? Sometimes we do a stretch, and when we release it for 1-2 seconds, we feel a sharp pain. What's going on here? Usually this is tendonitis. What's happening here? The muscle's been in a shortened position for so long, the tendon has really acquired a lot of pressure when you use the muscle or put tension on it. So it's begun to tear. And so problem with tendons here, they have no blood flow. And so when they tear, they lay down scar tissue and they don't ever replace it with flexible tissue. So a tendon is supposed to be an elastic band. When you put pressure on it, it should stretch. And when we have this tendonitis going on, what's happening is it's turning into a rope, and when we put pressure on it, it's tearing and growing thicker. And so what I like to do in my clinic is extraocular shockwave therapy, which is basically a fancy way of saying we use sound waves to meat tenderize the area. In that way we break down the tendon, but we also give it blood flow so that it can heal back to an elastic band sufficiently, and it is very effective usually. So check in with a healthcare professional if you're feeling that. And then sometimes we do a stretch and it actually feels worse after. What's going on here? Well, we probably shouldn't be doing the stretch, and we should listen to our body. It's communicating that to us, and we should do some research, go see a healthcare professional, find a better understanding of what the injury is and how we can treat it. Sometimes what happens in the body is we, for example, we sit at a computer all day and we hold our shoulders forward, and so our pecs are in a shortened position, and the opposite muscles in the back are the mid-lower traps and the rhomboids. And so what happens is they're all attached to the scapula bone, and so the scapula starts coming towards the chest, and so the origin insertion of this muscles in the back start getting a little too far apart. And the problem is the muscles in the front aren't telling us there's any problem, but they're causing the problem. So what will happen is every muscle has an opposite muscle. Biceps, triceps, for example. As biceps are flexing, triceps have to be turned off, and vice versa. So if we have something stuck in a shortened position, we're turning off the opposite muscle. So in this case, with the chest, we're turning off the mid back muscles, the traps, and the rhomboids. And so they like to make a knot to pull the bone back because they can't fire. And so if we feel a knot back there and we go to do a stretch, we're stretching an overstretched muscle. It doesn't like that, and it'll let you know. And so often you need to stretch the opposing muscle. So it's good to get a healthcare provider to assess and show you, where the dysfunction and the release needs to happen, and let them put you on the right track. Hopefully this helped everybody. So basically, to recap, 2-minute holds, hot bath, hot shower, meditation, something to calm the nerves before you do the stretch. And, listen to the body. If the body doesn't like the stretch, discontinue. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful. Hope you guys have a great day, and take care.